The topic of our DVD series is the Wing Chun street fighting applications. And with the current rise in popularity of the mixed martial arts world, the Muay Thai boxing has had a big also resurgence in its popularity. Have you had any either formal challenge matches and or street encounters with Thai boxers?
Yeah, I have a few run-in with Thai boxers, and one specific story was that in 1962, this is spring of 1962 in Sydney. Spring in Sydney is September because Australia is on the bottom end of the world, you know. And when we summer, they're winter. When we spring, they're autumn, and in reverse, they're spring and we're autumn, right? I had a SOS call from a friend of mine, and his name is, it wasn't the right name, but you know, I have to call him Howard Chen, you know, Howard, little Howard. And Howard actually hung around with us in Hong Kong when Bruce Lee was training with me, and you know, and Howard's a very good dancer. In fact, we sent him to the Filipino camp, the dance camp, to spy on the best dancer over there. Is called Gading. You know, he was the best cha-cha dancer, and he spied on and passed the dance steps to Bruce, and Bruce, you know, revamped it, and Bruce actually won the Hong Kong 1958 Cha-Cha Championship, you know. So Howard called me up and say that he had some trouble in the college. In the same class, there's a Thai guy from Thailand, a young guy from Thailand. And this young guy, his name is Ajay. Ajay's father was the consulate general for Thailand, and he has employed 2 ex-Thai boxers, champion Thai boxers, to be his son's bodyguard. So they also attend the same college, you know, the business college. This college is called Metropolitan Business College of, Metropolitan Business College of Sydney, right? Okay. And it's in Pitt Street. It's right in the heart of Sydney. And Ajay found out Howard has some Wing Chun lessons, you know. Mm-hmm. In those days, in the 60s, there wasn't any karate or anything, you know. But Muay Thai and Kung Fu wasn't popular in Western country. It's only judo and, you know, jiu-jitsu, you know, that were just starting, you know, in Australia. I see. But Ajay found out this little guy was learning a system developed by a woman. It's called Wing Chun. So he was giving Howard, you know, a lot of problems, you know. So every day he picked on him. So it ended up every day that Howard's getting a beating somewhat, right? It's always get a bruise, either from the chest or from the back or from, you know. So he called me up and he said, could you talk to Ajay to tell him to cool it and, you know, show some respect and so. I say, oh, no problem, you know, just set up the day, so, you know. And so he said, how about next Wednesday? I said, okay, Wednesday sounds good. But he said, Howard had a friend was, his name is Johnny, and from Malaysia, second dan in judo. And he was reportedly that he had an outstanding warrant from Malaysia because he killed somebody, killed some gang members, a triad gang member in and Howard wanted him to come along too, he can help out. And also, he also want Eddie to drive the car, to drive us there and drive us to get away. And I say, wait a minute, Howard, it's better I look after you than two other people. I say, just two of us go, I don't want to look after another two persons, Oh, no, they're really good, we need a car to get away. And this guy from Malaysia, he was, really famous and he can fight, he killed somebody, So I say, all right, let them come along. So on that day, they picked me up. I was living in North Sydney, Sydney, you got South Sydney, North Sydney. And the city is just past the Sydney Harbour Bridge. In the city is just off the Harbour Bridge. And the school was just right in the middle of the city, two of the biggest streets, one is George Street, one is Pitt Street, the school is situated between George Street and Pitt Street. So we drove up, and I saw three Asian-looking guys that standing at the front door, And I said to Howard, I say, what did you tell Ajay, what did you tell him about this meeting? Oh, he said, my big brother. I just told him that my big brother is coming to teach you some lessons, I said, you shouldn't do that, So we decided to pull up the car like about 3 shops from the school, And so as we got out of the car, and I saw those trios already running towards me. And then I was getting ready to deal with them. On the corner of my eye, I saw Howard and this Johnny killer dive through the open window in the car, and the car drove off. So I was left there, dealing with this trio.
By yourself?
By myself. It didn't matter, right? So they came in, but they come in like a triangle formation. And because I didn't, see, when you deal with multiple opponents, you don't want to deal with them deal with the middle one. You want to go to the extreme side so you can deal with them on the blind side. So you would have all of them in your sight. Right? But because they come in a triangle formation, so I have to do something different. So I did the fake entry technique. So stop the one that come in. So give me room, give me time and room to enter into the extreme right one. So the one that on my right, which is the left, throw a punch, and then I take this, and I was going to kick him, but he stepped out, and then I have to enter again, trying to get onto. So I hit him a couple of times, and they switched. The guy that, because I was taking my time to go to the blind side on this one, and this guy was from the one that on the right. Start to circle me, so I have to swing back. And while I did that, and the one in the middle jump up and throw a punch at me. So I pushed my arm up, do a biu sao. But because he was on the footpath, I was on the road. So by the time I make contact with his arm, and the punch already connected with my, so the sting tells me that I got hit, and blood start pouring down my head. And by that time, I could hear sirens, piercing sirens, the police cars already, already, because it's right in the middle of the city. So I kicked the guy that on my left-hand side, and I saw them, the one on the right, the one on the left ran down the road, and then the one in the middle running on the opposite side. So I decided to chase him, right? So when he came to the corner, turned to the corner, and I lost him. I couldn't find him at all because there's so many cars parked there. I decided to look underneath the car, and I found him hiding underneath the car, and I couldn't pull him out because he didn't want to come out. So there was a newspaper stand that they sell lighter fluids. So I get a can of lighter fluid and some matches. So I sprayed him with the lighter fluid, and so it didn't take much convincing persuasion that he came out. And then he jumped up and he said, "I'm a Jai. My father is his father." He told me his father was the Thai consulate general. And if you touch, he said, he threatened me, if you touch me, and my father will kill you, So before I could punch him, he already swung at me again, right? So I blocked his arm from the elbow, and then I punched him on the face, on the mouth, and did a gang sao, turned him around, pinned him on the ground, and when he landed on the ground, and two of his teeth dropped out. So I decided, okay, I let him go because, what the heck. And by that time, blood was pouring down from my head anyway, so I had to find somewhere to get it stopped. So there was, some little encounter with the Thai boxers. Yeah.
And were they armed at all, or was this?
Oh yeah,
bare knuckle?
They had brass knuckle on their right side. I think it was quite common in that time that, there were, people fight with brass knuckles in there. So all three of them have brass knuckles. But
So when you say you got hit.
I got hit.
with
In
brass
fact, it's fractured my skull, but it's the same. Dealing with brass knuckle, you just have to be, you have to block the punch anyway. So yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you, Grandmaster.
Yeah. We look at the triangle scenario on a multiple opponent. If I were going in, engage with the middle person, that means they will come around and will swallow me. I'd be surrounded from here, right? So ideally, if I could come in here and come in here, then I have these three assailants in my vision, and that would be ideal. But when I was doing this fake, stopping him coming forward, and then I come around here, but because of this kick, and slow me down to get to this side, so I'm actually dealing with three people at the same time, which is not very good, right? Because, ideally, if I were at one corner here or the other corner there, and I can see. So what I should have done was that I enter, and then I enter here. I should have get into this position. But because of that little kick that slows me down, right? I enter here, and then I have to deal with this little kick, right? And so that's why this person can get to me, and then I expose my blind side on the, right? So let's look at if I were doing like this instead of going in, right? So I'm coming in here, and then I come in here, ignoring that arm, right? Or if I were here, I come straight over here, ignoring this arm. Then I would be in a better position. If I go to the other side, then I would be, right? So I have to ignore his leading arm, but cut off from here. Then I can. So if I go from here, then I can come around, right? The thing that what I don't want to do is after I deal with the first person, I don't want to cut out here. Then so I have to cut around from the blind side, so I can still have them in my view. Right. So I come around from the back of this person. Same in another scenario, that if they come in a line, so if I come in a line, so I just come through here, right? So I still have them in my view, so I don't have to deal with two persons at the same time. Or if I come through here, right? So that's the strategy, fighting on the extreme blind side, either on the extreme right or extreme left on blind side. So dealing with a Muay Thai boxer or a boxer, right? It's best to deal with him on the parallel side, because you cut off one side and then you just have to deal with either a jab or a round punch, right? And because if I start with neutral stance, and there's less chance that I would be attacked on the shins or on the legs, right? Because there's no leg there. There's no leg there, right? Only when I step up, right? So you cover the elbow, and then from here, you're on the blind side, and then you can, if he jabs first, right, and then you do a biu sao, and then you do a hyun sao, and from here, because the leverage from the elbow, you can control two fingers. You can control the person, right? Control his balance. So you're restricting the other arm. So from here, restrict, right? So that is all this skill that is trained from Chi Sao, Wing Chun Chi Sao exercise. So if you, so on the blind side, you don't need to deal with very much worry about this, because you cover here, and So a lot of time that they do a swing at you, so they cover you, and so you can do a lap sao, a gang sao, and a park sao, and so from here, and then a chin sao, a lap sao, right? So you can from here, chin and lap, right? Or you could do this, right? Park sao and chin sao. So the park sao from here. Basically, what I did was I actually pulled this punch to my shoulder, but because I take my arm up, then it passed me from there. So I catch him with his momentum from here. And what else I can do is, if I jam up this arm, jam up his leading arm, then, right? So trying to use anything that comes from the left side, you use the left arm to block. Anything come from the right side, use the right arm to block. Right? So you got from here, and then if that one is swinging, then, right? So you from here, you're watching the elbow here. So you stop the elbow, and then you can. So you can just jam up, right? So if it's from here, right? Because this elbow can only be at this area here, right? So same thing, uppercut. You just come straight down. Just come straight down, right? So instead of trying to block it with one point, you block it with a line. So you get, right? Yeah. And then you always watch. See, even though if I have my right arm on his right arm, and if he swings there, instead of let go this one, I would use this, and then I would, or with a back fist, because I don't want to let this one go, right? So if I were here, I would use that, then exchange, yeah. So, but parallel arm is good. Right. So we're going to look at how to deal with low kicks, right? If I were on a front stance, a kick comes in, I would just pick it up, and then I do a Hüngurk, right, after the block. I want to get to the outside of his foot so that I be on the outside controlling the blind side. So what I don't want to do is, and then come down here, and then I'd be walking straight into this punch, or he could sweep me from there, right? So you got block, right? So it just bring this up, right? And so you, okay, so the other side, similarly, right? Block. So I want to get out here, right? Not even here, only get out here. So I do a Hyun-gyeok, right? There. Right. If you kick from the inside, right? So I just bring my foot up, bring my knee up, and I turn a little bit. So I can use this as an offensive block, because when I turn, I can hit him from there, right? I can hit him from there with the knee, right? So the other side, right? What you don't want to do is, for a low kick, you go down there and block, then you're exposing your upper gay, your head target, and your body target. So you don't want to do that, right? So you want to keep this up. Right? You want to cover the upper gay, right, in case the follow through with the punch, right? Right. Right. So you're still watching the elbow. So from this leading elbow here, you pick up this knee, and then you pick up the other 2 points. We're going to look at how to deal with elbow and knee strikes. Right? To get the elbow strike in, you have to get very close. So one of the very obvious way is maybe you throw a jab, and then, when somebody comes to block, and then you can use elbow, right? So I block, right? So I block. Right? So for the elbow, I can block like that, and then I can actually take this across, right? So you got from here, right? Right. But because I block cross arm, and this arm is become very vulnerable, right? So what would be better for me is I actually step back to deal with it from here, to get the distance, deal with it from here, and then hit. Right? Or I could do a turn, right? So from here, I could do a turn, right? Get a distance to deal with it with the distance, right? Another way that from here, I can just using this Cheung sao, right? I can use Cheung sao and stop, right? And then come back from here. So it's the distance that what you need, right? So you go from here, right? If I don't come back, then I have to use force to stop it. But because I step back, and I don't need to, right? The other side, right? So I'm going to show you another one is from here, I'm actually using the distance to cover it from the inside, from the outside of his elbow, right? So I do a ball. Right. So I do a bill. Or I do a turn. Right, do a turn. For Wing Chun, we also use elbows. So what we do is, see if he throws a punch, and then we hit here, then we go in from, and then, right, so we will attack the arm here, then we go in from here. The other side. And then against the knee. So when you use the knee, usually you might be face square on and then you step out. You have it in a very close range, right? So say if I throw a punch, yeah, and then, right? So the best way to deal with the knee is actually do like a jiat sao, but using the force to push yourself back, right? Then you go step outside to the blind side and catch the elbow hit. So it's no good just block here, he goes back, it comes back again, because you're not improving anything, right? So using that force, right, using that force to propel you slightly, right, the other side, yeah. We start off with the left neutral side stance, right neutral side stance, left neutral side stance, right neutral side stance. Yeah, make sure the weight is in the middle of the center. Left neutral side stance, right neutral side stance. And then we do entry technique. So we start with the single entry on the right. Again. Now we use the left entry, left entry, left entry. Now this time we do double entry on the right leg. Entry again. Entry again. Left double entry. Again. Back. Left double entry. Again. Back. Left double entry. Back. Leg block from the outside. 2, 3, 4. The left side, leg block from the outside. 4. Shin kick, leg block for shin kick. 2, 3, 4. The left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leg block, Hyun-geuk. The other side, leg block, Hyun-geuk. We're going to do some cross-arm chi-sao drill against close quarter, like elbow strike or low kicks, or, you know. So basically, chi-sao is you get your energy going out in front of you, and you're using the point of contact to interpret the energy, the vibration, what's the opponent trying to do, right? So if I do a strike here and a strike here with the elbow, then he can do maybe if he does that to me, I can do a bong sao, and then I can step out from here, right? So if I do a kick from here, right? So from here, from the point of contact, I know he's going to kick low from this vibration here. Then I just do. The other side. So we can also look at like like a front kick situation, a lap sau, a front kick situation, right? A lap sau, front kick situation. And then to counter that, right? Right, so, and then we can also look at like a round kick situation from here. Right, right. So a double park sau, double.